What's up, guys? Today we're just gonna do like a chill video. I'm gonna put my makeup on. I just want to play with some things. Some of this is new, some of this isn't. I tried to grab just stuff in my collection that I haven't used as much, and yeah, let's just do our makeup. Also, I just wanna have just a little chit chat, you know, let's talk about motherhood. I feel like it's been a minute, you know, since I've given y'all some tips, some tricks, and I just want to share. Now, some of these aren't like groundbreaking or anything, but if you're like a mom to be or a new mom, it might help. Let's get started. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about like what I'm using, but I'll leave everything down below, like listed in the order that I put it on my face. Okay, let's do it. So the first tip I wanted to give was actually about the labor process. I feel like for me, like I was nervous about labor, but it wasn't like the labor itself that I was nervous about. I actually watched a bunch of like birthing videos, and really what I was nervous about was I hope I don't poop. A lot of women, actually, if you're giving birth naturally, you're gonna poop. And really, I wish somebody would have told me that it's not a big deal. A lot of people poop on the table. Nobody says anything. Nobody acknowledges it. Nobody's gonna humiliate you. It's a fact of life. It's not a big deal. And really, at that point, it's like the least of your worries. So, yeah, you might poop, but no big deal, you know? The next one, I actually didn't expect this. And I didn't know how common it was until I was actually watching the birthing video that Casey Holmes did. And I actually had like the same exact reaction to like birth as she did. When I gave birth to my son, Gavin, he actually came out, and as soon as I saw him, I cried uncontrollably, like sob, like, and I really didn't expect to have that reaction. I don't know. It was just such a huge, like, finally, but also like, oh my God, I did it. And also like, oh, he's so cute. And I just felt like this intense, like, so many feelings, you know, that I just like involuntarily let out, just this huge sob. And it was just so many things all at once, so many feelings all at once. I was just so overwhelmed and just like taken. I think a lot of people, you know, especially if it's your first one, just like, you know, the shock of like what your body just went through, and just you're in awe and you're in love, and you really don't know love until that moment. Number 3, read to your kids as early as possible. Some people do it like while they're pregnant. I actually didn't start reading to Gavin until he was maybe like a year old, but I feel like doing so just really made him like love books and love reading, and just start as early as possible. Make it part of your bedtime routine. I feel like reading to him early and kind of getting him used to that really set him up early on for preschool and kindergarten. I mean, he does read really well. He just stutters a lot, so it doesn't sound like it. But he really, like, he picked up things really fast as soon as, you know, they started to teach like phonics and writing and, you know, all that stuff. Number 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. No matter how old your kids are, always carry a set of extra clothes. Whether they're, you know, babies, obviously, you know, they shit on themselves, they puke everywhere, they spit up, they drool. But also, like, there have been times where, you know, I've gone places with Gavin, like, for example, we went to the Santa Monica Promenade, or the 3rd Street Promenade. I don't know what everybody calls it. I call it just, anyway. And then somehow we ended up at the beach somewhere, and then he got in with his clothes on. And I ended up having to buy him an extra set of clothes at the promenade because he had nothing dry to wear. Stuff like that. It's always useful to just carry an extra set of clothes for your kids, but also like for yourself. I always carry at least a change of underwear for myself and some pants, because you never know. I used to keep them in my car at all times. Also, deodorant, you know. because you never know. Anyway, number 5. Always know, no matter what you're going through, no matter how hard things are or how easy they are, really, everything is temporary. Nothing lasts forever. Whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that your kids are going through, it's temporary. And like, enjoy it while you can, because like the older they get, the worse it gets, really. Phases last longer, they're harder. You know, I really thought like the terrible twos thing would never end, but it did. It was temporary. And now I look back on it and I'm just like, oh, he was so cute when he was 2. So, you know, just try to enjoy, you know, the phases as much as you can, you know, because really, like, nothing is temporary. I mean, everything is temporary. Number 6. Speaking of temporary things, take your kid everywhere. I actually had to take Gavin everywhere just because I had no choice. Everywhere that I went, he had to go. I didn't necessarily have family that was just always readily available for me to take him or, you know, what have you. So I really just got used to taking him everywhere with me. And I feel like because I trained him to be in public, he really knows how to act now. He's not like a little shit now. I can go to restaurants and I don't have to worry about him, you know, acting crazy. He just, you know, he minds his manners and he doesn't really bother me. I can go shopping with him. He's not whining every 2 seconds. I really don't have to worry about any of that. And really it's because I took him everywhere with me from like day 1. I actually had people ask me like, what is it that you do to him to make him submissive? Why does he act so well in public? How? Just how? And really it was just, I mean, I had to take him everywhere. Number 7. Especially when you have like, you know, an infant or a newborn or whatever, you always mark, you know, stuff on the calendar, you know, his first tooth, his first words, his first step. And nobody ever really thinks about like the last time that they do things, you know, especially now that Gavin's older and he's so independent. Oh my God. Sometimes I, you know, think back to like the times where I could do things with him that I can't do now. And I miss it. For example, like the last time that he let me give him a bath, or the last time he let me tie his shoes for him. You know, like little things, you know? So yes, obviously you're gonna like mark the firsts or whatever, but also, you know, be mindful of the lasts, you know? Enjoy those moments. Gavin is 7 and he still lets me carry him everywhere. But there will come a point in time where he won't let me do that anymore, and I'm gonna miss it, really. Actually, there's gonna come a point where he's gonna be too big for me to carry him, really, because, you know, side note, I feel like nobody on YouTube ever actually shows you how long you really have to blend eyeshadow. Just saying. I feel like I've been sitting here for like 10 years. Anyway, number 8, consult your inner child. I feel like a lot of times, you know, when I get frustrated with Gavin, it's mostly because I keep forgetting that I'm viewing things from like an adult perspective, and he is not an adult. I mean, he's 7, really. Like, things were so simple then. And I have to really, you know, think back to when like I was 7. Like, what was going through my head? And sometimes really it's a matter of either miscommunication or I didn't understand fully, you know, because it was like beyond my maturity level back then. You know, sometimes when I get frustrated with him, I really have to like check myself and then reapproach him based on his perspective, you know, kind of bring it down to his level, meet him where he's at. You know, I never do purple eyeshadow, but this is nice. Number 9, be brutally honest. You know, there have been times where Gavin has been like really like unruly, really difficult, and really it's because he didn't really understand what was going on. So he's definitely like the kind of kid that needs to know what to expect. He needs to know what's coming next. And there have been times where like I wouldn't tell him and he would get like super frustrated, and then he would be like really difficult. But also I found that being brutally honest with him has actually built a lot of trust between him and I, and I'm gonna need that when he gets to high school because I'm nervous. You know, and also, especially for like important things, you know, when he gets to high school and he wants to know about, you know, adult things, I feel like it'll help a lot because, you know, he'll trust that I'll tell him the truth. He'll trust that he can have those conversations with me, and I would much rather him come to me than go to his stupid little friends. There was actually a time where Gavin came home from first grade, okay, and asked me, he said someone had given him the middle finger and he asked me what it meant. I totally told him. And the last thing, I feel like this is like my philosophy just as a mom. Anytime I'm frustrated or I'm in a situation where I'm, you know, in distress, or, you know, I'm in a tight spot, what have you. Someone actually told me, did someone tell me or did I read it somewhere? I can't remember. But your kids will not remember what you say, but they will remember what you do. And that is so true. I don't remember a damn thing my mama said, but I remember everything she did and how she was. I remembered her work ethic and her refusal to give up, like, ever. And those are the things that stuck with me into, like, adulthood. Did I forget to put highlight on? See, this is what happens when I talk while I'm doing my makeup. Oh. Yep. I'm gonna set my face and put on my lip, and I'll be right back. All right, guys. That's it. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe and stay tuned. I feel like I spend my life putting lip balm on. What is this, number 2? Oh, that was too much. Nope, can't bend down to get it. I'm getting old. Because I don't remember.